Okay, so a lot is coming in very strongly, and I'm feeling quite sensitive to every single sound around me, like the clock ticking or any creak in the floors, as though like there's a cautiousness, like people could be overhearing or listening in on what it is that you're expressing. And the thing is, you want to express what it is that you're working on, whether it's a project. Yeah, I think some kind of project, it feels big, or an intellectual struggle. Maybe you're trying to focus on reading a philosophical text, or maybe you're building your own philosophical framework, something along those lines. Something that's like a challenge, but you are there for it and you're in it and you want people to see it, but you're worried that the wrong people are seeing it. And this gets me into I'll start with a dream that I had. So I'm just going to share the personal details of the dream and then extrapolate. I think that's the right term, the collective message that was received from this. So I was shopping at Trader Joe's with a new family friend. For the sake of details that may or may not be significant to you, this family friend wasn't somebody that I know in my real life, but in the dream, it was somebody that I quickly became comfortable around, much more comfortable than a lot of other individuals. They seemed to be a trustworthy individual that shared a lot of my values, someone that I felt like saw me, saw my soul. So we were shopping around Trader Joe's for an event, some kind of holiday gathering, a celebration, a feast for the family. And so preparing for very Four of Wands energy, some kind of collective celebration. Anyways, we were trying to find things that would appeal to everybody. I think this was around, it was bright outside and warm, which is not typical for Minnesota in the autumn, but there was a lot of pumpkin and like Halloween type stuff lying around, but it didn't feel like we were preparing for Halloween. Anyways, I am vegan, and I was trying to find vegan options because vegan options can be enjoyed by everybody, and Trader Joe's, a lot of their treats, like their JoJo's and their gummies, happen to be vegan. So I was very hopeful that we would be able to find a good amount of stuff there. And this individual picked up a loaf of pumpkin sourdough. It was like a pumpkin shaped loaf of sourdough. And they're like, oh, this looks so good. I'm going to throw it in. And I was like, oh, okay. And I picked it up and checked the label, and it was a cheddar cheese loaf, not vegan. And I was like, hey, could we maybe find something different? Something that maybe doesn't have cheese on it? And they're like, well, I like this, and I think that other people will like it as well. And I was like, oh, okay. And this, I kind of got a pit in my stomach, because when I was choosing out these gummies that were like vampire fangs that I thought that all the kids would enjoy because they could press them on their teeth and the blood would come out, Trader Joe should get on this. Actually, no, an independent candy shop should get on this, because like those Scandinavian swimmers gummies have such a lovely texture. If you were to make tooth-shaped gummies like that, filled with some kind of like cherry jam filling or raspberry or whatever, pomegranate, ooh, uh, that could be pressed onto teeth and then the blood would come out. That would be sick. Somebody should get on that. Maybe I'll get on that. Anyways, when I picked those out, they were like, hey, I don't know if anyone will like that. And I immediately got this feeling that they were only saying that because they didn't like it, which like is fair. It's fair to have things that you like and dislike, but I guess everybody that I've encountered loved Scandinavian swimmers. And I mean, I knew that I'm not a huge gummy fan. I might have a couple for the funs of it, but I know a lot of children are. So I was hopeful that this is something that, everybody would enjoy. But it was this tension between what they were choosing, this sourdough loaf, and what I was choosing, the gummies. And I was like, they're going to try to make all of the choices and tell me that I have to pay for my, in quotes, my own choices, even though my choices are meant to be shared. We were planning on splitting the grocery cost because we're purchasing for everybody. And I mean, groceries is relative anyways. So yeah, we shopped around a little bit more, picked out some more stuff, and then the thought hit me. I was like, I don't want to make this person, I don't want to control what this person can and cannot purchase with their money. Would I prefer that, like morally, would I prefer that they choose a vegan option, an option that doesn't contribute to the animal agriculture industry and animal harm? Yes, but I don't want to control what it is this person does. What I really can control is where I am placing my money. Also, we're at Trader Joe's, which has its own entire history of taking over small businesses and conveniently building locations in areas that oh gosh, what's the word for it, where the places where Black communities and marginalized groups live and have lived, and then all of these big corporations come in and are like, yeah, we're building here now, and then suddenly becomes bougie and prices everybody out. What is that, the name for that? I'm forgetting. Anyways, so I was like, no ethical consumption under capitalism, but I have these principles, I have these rules for myself because I am hopeful, and I want to create a better world where I can, within my means, with the knowledge that I have right now. So it's not about me controlling what this other person likes or dislikes. It's my own discomfort. Discomfort is not, no, that's not even the right word. There is discomfort involved, but it comes from a place of going against my ethical principles. So I was like, hey, how about if you want these items, you'll pay for those items. I don't want my money going, and I didn't say this part to them, but I don't want my money going towards animal abuse, just to name it clearly. And it's like, and I'll pay for these, and the things that we both agree that everybody will enjoy, we'll split the cost on those. And they agreed, but they seemed almost offended, as though I was like being snobbish, which is something that I have a lot of experience around. But this time I kind of experience around people taking my choices as being like being overly picky. Selfish, I want to say. Like, it's my preference, and so it can't be the other way. Okay, let me see if I can paint an image. But, like, it's this misunderstanding because it's not coming from a place of, I just love Scandinavian swimmers, I love gummies so much, and it has to be this thing or nothing else. No, it's from a place of, I don't want my actions, I want to limit how much my actions contribute to an issue. I want to limit as much unnecessary harm as I can with my awareness right now. You know, if there were like other options within the store, I would have been other vegan options within the store, and they suggested those. As they did, they just didn't point it out as vegan, and if they had, I got this feeling that they would put it back. And whereas with them choosing out that sourdough loaf, it wasn't because they had some kind of moral attachment to it. It was just because they liked it. And again, nothing wrong with liking foods, nothing wrong with choosing things out because it is pleasant. But the pushiness that they had around buying that versus my insistence, maybe even pushiness, if we want to balance the energies, that we have options that everybody can enjoy that don't contribute to, again, the animal agriculture industry, then like it's a very different picture. It's not about preference, it's about ethics. And I think that can go missed when the other individuals that we are talking to are making decisions from a place of, do I like this or do I not like this, without that. And I do not mean this to put down anybody's humanity in any way. It's just like navigating energies. If you are making decisions from a place of, I like this, I don't like this, and there's not like a deeper level of like understanding the systemic impact that purchasing something has, if you're not investing that that thought into making decisions from a place of an ethical code, or like, it's just a different framework. That's what I'm trying to say. It's making decisions from a very different framework, and there can be a lot of miscommunication and judgment if you're not aware that the other person, like if these two individuals are not aware that their frameworks are different, and they're assuming that they are making decisions from the same framework. So that is the dream that I had. I hope that makes sense. And I guess I should wrap that up by saying I left that place feeling like, hey, that was a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation that I just had, but I stuck to my moral code. And I know that even if they don't understand me right now, knowing this person, we're going to be fine. There are more thoughts around that maybe will come back later in other messages, but that was just like, I felt relief regardless of what this individual thinks of me right now, regardless of the discomfort that I felt. There was a weight lifted off. Like, I did not neglect my values. And even if my values changed, I was firm in what felt right in that moment. And so I left the store feeling lighter. So yeah, that was that. I will return to a couple other dreams later, but I'll lead this into a vision that I had about swords and your intellect. It is as though when I'm going to describe some like energetic bodies. It is as though when you speak your sword, right? You're cutting through, you're trying to meet your match. You're looking for, ow, I just hit my hands against each other in a cross because it's like I was trying to express the energy, but you can't see me. But yeah, you're looking for like that sword to clash up against you, somebody to meet you at your level. Again, not that you are better than anybody else, not that you have your own style, and you're looking for somebody who matches that style and can challenge it, and so you can like have this fun game of sword fighting with them. And it's like you're coming up against energetic boulder after energetic boulder, and you're like, this is not fun. You're like hitting these boulders, like trying to have a sword fight with them, and it's just not working. And it's not like you're hurting or harming the boulders. If anything, it can hurt or harm you because your blade might shatter. Sometimes like maybe sometimes you'll like slice into something. I would be careful. Well, okay, wait, no, I'm not going to get sidetracked on this message, because the heart of this message was that as you have gone through this process of hitting boulder after boulder, you have learned to angle your blade in a way that coming up against these boulders is sharpening it. So even as you are not meeting your match, every conversation that you have, every time that you confront these energetic boulders, did I say dull conversation already? Like, it is sharpening your skills. So you're actually increasing your style, your technique. That's it. You're improving upon your technique. So when you meet your match, like maybe there is some expert like sword fighter who is waiting for you, who you're moving towards, and all of these conversations are preparing you for that. You're sharpening your wit, you're becoming quicker and almost even having more fun in these conversations, even if your words aren't landing properly, even if these individuals don't quite understand. You're learning how to dance through all of this. And again, it's not hurting anybody. Like, you may have hurt people in the past when your technique was weaker. You like a more page of swords than a knight of swords energy, if that makes sense. It's like you're working your way up the suit of swords. And yeah, So by the time that you reach that, we can say King of Swords, but I want to say it's even beyond that. It's just this very sharp energy. Again, not in a harmful way, in a very playful way, in the way that like Mercury is quick-witted but playful, but a trickster. Anyways, yeah. Oh, another note that came in was that these individuals, the conversations that you're having with people, so say it's a friend and you're talking to them about something that matters a lot to you and they're just not getting it, or it's just feeling a lot duller than all of this like passion and thought and depth of thought, I guess, that you are putting into it. It's not because they themselves it's not because they are an energetic boulder. It's that this subject that you care so deeply about, for them, is like a boulder. It's just not hitting. They may be on their own journey of sharpening their sword, but in a different area. So it's not saying that you are superior to anyone. You're just discovering your own style and technique and going to meet your match within that style and technique. You're preparing for that. And the more that you practice and prepare, the more fun you are having. So there's that. And then going back to the dreams that I had, in the dream, I had the thought, I sing so much in all of my dreams. And I guess I just want to say that because maybe notice your dreams and what patterns, what activities come up in your dreams that make you feel free. Those might be clue-ins on how you can free up stuck energy within you. If you start to get frustrated in like these boulder type situations, in this example, I would sing, or dance was another thing. Dance was like the second part to that. Did I say like A and then never give a B point? I don't know. Anyways, you get the idea. So back to dance. Similar to singing being a pattern that I recognized, I woke up then with the thought, I need to write an essay about how dance is medicinal. And then I was like, that's odd. I have way too many projects to do. I don't have time to write an entire essay right now on how dance is medicinal. But I could still take that thought and let it kind of plant, like gently, not plant it, but file it maybe. I'm feeling into this right now. Okay, kind of shrink the thought down. Not to make it less important, but to make it less heavy. And put it in the back of my brain so that that thought can return and grow in its light when it is time for that project to come through. But still that wisdom that dance is medicinal lives inside of my body. To tie this in, I'm having the word the poet come to me. Yeah, this is all for you to understand your own framework and play with your thoughts. Play with how you express them. Oh, and back to the boulders, like I was saying, these subjects that you are talking about so passionately and meeting up against them energetically, these challenges are for you. It's, again, not because of these other people. Your experiences are a reflection of what it is that it is a reflection of your path, not a reflection of anybody else's path, if that makes sense. So the kind of overarching message is to keep making decisions from a place of your inner knowing, your curiosity, your openness. That, like, I'm seeing someone who is very open and curious. Keep making decisions from there. Keep acting, moving towards that which feels right to you. But I'm kind of hearing, and give others the grace to do the same for themselves. Nobody's timelines are the same. Everybody's timeline is beautiful. Okay, and I guess another message: stop expending your energy spending time trying to understand. Trying to understand others' paths. Right now, there is so much light and nourishment and freedom to be received, just moving in the direction of your curiosity. And as you move along that path, as you continue to open and expand yourself and your awareness, the energies that will meet you will be more and more aligned and make you feel more and more alive in a very, very soulful and light way. So yeah, that is, let me check my notes real quick. Oh, okay. One final thing, two things. Okay, I have the mess and time away, or the moments away. So because there's so much airy energy going on, it can be really easy to, I think this is why singing and dancing came through, because they're like embodied actions, and eating as well. It can be easy to try to control what we eat, how we act, how we move, and like how it's perceived by others, going back to that very initial like sense of paranoia. But our thoughts, while valuable, again, in the scenario of swords and conversation and intellect, are not the same as actually doing the action. Thinking about how you're going to dance is different than dancing, and they elicit they're two different forms of nourishment. You're not going to be nourished from dancing by thinking about dancing, and you're not going to reason your way into feeding yourself. And then when it comes to the mess, I thought about this because I was like picking out a fig, and it was like all smashed up, and I was like, why is this fig out of all of them the most appealing to my body? This doesn't make sense as someone who other people assume to be very particular and neat and tidy. But I chose it anyway. I didn't let that identity stop me from choosing what felt right for my body. Same with dancing. And it's also like, my mind thinks I have all these tasks to do. My mind has a plan, but that plan didn't account for, or the intuition that I can't control, but I can be aware of. So give yourself grace to engage with the other elements. Basically, if I were to suck that out and distill it into its rawest form, you're spending a lot of time in air energy and I shouldn't say that. No, you're spending a lot of time being balanced throughout all four energies, but your air energy is so developed that it can kind of overshadow the other energies, like a cloud looming over the fire and water and earth. But your intuition is strong as well. Your intuition has a strong voice, and your heart has a strong voice, and your body has a strong voice as well. And you are good at listening to those, but your mind can judge it. And I would end this by saying, see how much you can flow. Like, see how time moves so gracefully, like a dance, when you honor the other elemental parts of you as much as you honor your mind. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. If this resonated, I would love to hear how and why and what dreams you've been having in the comments. Oh, if you have clarification for any concepts that I might have skimmed over or misrepresented, I would also love to hear in the comments. You can donate to me if you so desire in my Venmo. I'll leave that in the description, as well as how to book a reading with me. And you can follow me on Instagram at the.marahverse. I'd love to be friends. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know, like this video if you liked it, share with someone who might resonate, all of the fun YouTube jazz. I am just very excited to be able to be here and share these messages with you. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Take care of that mind of yours. Let it rest sometimes, and let the other parts of you that want to come through, that are like burning and I'm hungry, let them be. It's beautiful. You're beautiful, and I love you lots. Bye.